श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. Thank you very much, devotees. It's a great blessing and honor to be amongst all the great devotees here on a Zoom platform. Monday, 8:30 for us, 7:30 or other timings wherever you all are.
Hari Hari Bol Mataji. Thank you so much. Very nice Kirtan you did, Mataji. So thank you so much. And thank you so much, Mataji, for joining Partsarthi Foundation. Today, first time you join as a speaker, Mataji. So we are so glad. We need your association. So please timely join Partsarthi Foundation, Mataji. And so we can take your blessings and as well as your Vani association also. So I request to Manhandi Mataji, please take over the call, Mataji, via a brief introduction from Mataji's side. Thank you, Mataji. Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prempriya Padma Mataji, and a very warm welcome, Hemanga Gopi Mataji, to this online Sangha. So this is a very small endeavor to serve Prabhupada. Partsarthi Foundation was started 2 years ago during COVID, peak of COVID, to give association in Hindi and English language to the youth and the adults alike about the message of Srila Prabhupada. So Prempriya Padma Mataji and Harila Prabhu have been relentlessly working on bringing eminent scholars and leaders from all over the world to this platform. So very, very warm welcome, and we hope to see you many, many more times here. Just to give a brief introduction of Mataji, Hemanga Gopi Mataji has been practicing Bhakti Yoga since 1996. Mataji and her Prabhu Kadam Kanan Das and their son Shri Gaur Hari Das are initiated disciples of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. They are currently serving at ISKCON Framingham Hills, Michigan under His Grace Yugal Kishore Prabhuji's guidance. Both Hemanga Gopi Mataji and Kadam Kanan Prabhu preached in Singapore, Malaysia, Maryland, Jacksonville, Alachua, Windsor, and Michigan. They both love to share the teachings of Bhagavad Gita to new people. Mataji is actively involved in facilitating Vaishnavi Sangha and conducting youth classes at ISKCON Framingham Hills, Michigan. We are very happy and excited to bring her as a guest speaker today. And we are very, very positive that we will be learning a lot from Mataji. Her service attitude, as you all can see, Mataji has been sitting here with folded hands. So, we are really touched by your humility, really touched by, the big endeavor you have undertaken to serve Srila Prabhupada. So welcome, Mataji, and please start today's session. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for the warm welcome. I feel very much at home with devotees. It's always a pleasure sharing and talking about Krishna. Jai. So before we begin, let's take the blessings from all our acharyas and the Supreme Lord. So something that I could speak that can be glorifying the Supreme Lord, which will in turn bring happiness to the assembled Vaishnavas. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadhantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tham Sajivam Sadhvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padhan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadhi Pashyatya Deshatarine He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I was born in the darkest of ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Jai. So, since I was planning to discuss from Srimad Bhagavatam, so I thought these are the special prayers that we always recite before we speak anything on Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudhirayet. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayana, unto Naranarayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadev, the author. Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishchike. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. I once again seek the blessings of all the assembled Vaishnavas. So actually that I can share whatever I have heard and not adulterate with my own concoctions, but try to share exactly what I have heard. And please, if anything is inspiring from the discussion that you get, it's all glories to all the Guru Tattvas and all the devotees that I've heard. And if there are any mistakes, it's just my faults. So please excuse me as your humble servant. So I'm just attempting to try to repeat what I've heard. So when Anuradha Mataji, she approached me on what would be the topic that you would like to speak on. We had our recent Vaishnavi Sangha that we meet on a monthly basis, get together, and we all had, the activity was for us to bring a verse and to share. And she actually shared this verse, Rasoham apsu kaunteya prabhasmi sasishuryayo pranavas sarva vedeshu shabdah ke paurusham nrishu. And she said that she heard one of the Matajis from Houston, I guess, who actually saw the moon, and she was telling her daughter, see, the beautiful moon there, and that is how you can remember that the light of the moon is also Krishna, how he says in this verse. And in that purport, Srila Prabhupada starts that this verse explains how the Lord is all pervasive by his diverse material and spiritual energies. So when she asked, and when she said this verse, I said, why not? We can discuss on how Krishna is all pervasive. And that's how this topic was selected. So in our congregation here in ISKCON Farmington Hills, third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam is being discussed. And in the third canto, we can see that there is a talk in this fifth chapter between Vidura and Maitreya Muni. So Vidurji is going to approaching Maitreya Muni to know about, he wants to hear more about the Lord, how he created, what are his creations, what are his various energies. So he is asking such questions, and Maitreya Muni is very mercifully explaining. He is so happy that somebody is asking about the Supreme Lord. That's giving more happiness for both the devotees to speak and hear about the Lord. And in the 51st verse, as he's describing how the Mahat Tattva was formed and how all the demigods manifested from there. And the demigods, when they came out, they didn't know what to do. So they were like, the Lord, you have made us come here, but we don't know what to do. So please tell us and empower us and give us the knowledge that is needed for us to do our duty. So this verse goes this way. Tato vayam Pramukhaya dharte bhabu vimatman karavama kimte tvam nasva chakshu paridehi shaktya deva kriyarte yadanugrahanam. O Supreme Self, the demigods are addressing the Supreme Lord. Please give us, who are created in the beginning from the Mahat Tattva, the total cosmic energy, your kind directions on how we shall act. Kindly award us your perfect knowledge and potency so that we can render you service in different departments of subsequent creation. So this verse is really, as we go along, you can see the all-pervasiveness of the Lord as we keep discussing further. So the purport is really amazing. Like every purport of Srila Prabhupada is just mind-blowing, and it just gives the right words that we are hankering to hear. So here in the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, the Lord creates this material world and impregnates the material energy with the living entities who will act in the material world. All these actions have a divine plan behind them. The plan is to give the conditioned souls who so desire it a chance to enjoy sense gratification. But there is another plan behind the creation. So Yugal Kishore Prabhuji here, who lovingly cultivates us, he always says, when we make a big sentence and then we say, but, all the sentence before that gets wiped out. So the importance is after the but, what the Lord is saying. So then here you can see that, like, even though the conditioned souls, we all have a desire and we came for sense enjoyment, but the real purpose, what comes is, but there is another plan behind the creation, to help the living entities realize that they are created for the transcendental sense gratification of the Lord and not for their individual sense gratification. This is the constitutional position of the living entities. Like Srila Prabhupada, very nicely, he breaks down these points for us to understand. The Lord is one without a second, and he expands himself into many for his transcendental pleasure. All the expansions, the Vishnu Tattvas, the Jiva Tattvas, and the Shakti Tattvas, the personality of Godhead, the living entities, and the different potencies are different offshoots from the same one Supreme Lord. So we are actually seeing that Vyapti, the all-pervading nature of the Lord here. The Jiva Tattvas are separated expansions of the Vishnu Tattvas. And although the jivas have different potencies, they are all meant for the transcendental sense gratification of the Supreme Lord. Some of the jivas, however, wanted to lord it over material nature, like myself, in imitation of the lordships of the personality of Godhead. Regarding when and why such propensities overcame the pure living entities, it can only be explained that the jiva tattvas have infinitesimal independence, and that due to the misuse of this independence, some of the living entities have become implicated in the conditions of cosmic creation, and therefore called Nitya-baddhas, or eternally conditioned. Like so many times we have so many questions, right? Like all the questions are getting answered right away in one purport of Srila Prabhupada. So this purport is really very encompassing. So I really want to read through it for my own clarifications too. The expansions of Vedic wisdom also give the Nitya-baddhas, the conditioned living entities, a chance to improve. And those who take advantage of such transcendental knowledge gradually regain their lost consciousness of rendering transcendental loving service to the Lord. The demigods are amongst the conditioned souls who have developed this pure consciousness of service to the Lord, but who at the same time continue to desire to lord it over the material energy. Such mixed consciousness puts a conditioned soul in the position of managing the affairs of this creation. The demigods are entrusted leaders of the conditioned souls. So we are seeing the breakdown where the demigods' positioning is, where we stand, and how their relationship is with the Lord. As some of the old prisoners in government jail, like this is a perfect example Srila Prabhupada gives, which I was able to relate very well. In the government jails are entrusted with some responsible work of prison management. So the demigods are improved conditioned souls, acting as representatives of the Lord in the material creation. Such demigods are devotees of the Lord in the material world. And when completely free from all material desires to lord it over the material energy, they become pure devotees and have no desire but to serve the Lord. Therefore, any living entity who desires a position in the material world may desire so in the service of the Lord and may seek power and intelligence from the Lord, as exemplified by the demigods in this particular verse. So one cannot do anything unless he is enlightened and empowered by the Lord. The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 15.15, Matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. All recollections, knowledge, etc., as well as all forgetfulness are engineered by the Lord, who is sitting within the heart of everyone. The intelligent man seeks the help of the Lord, and the Lord helps the sincere devotee engaged in his multifarious services. The demigods are entrusted by the Lord to create different species of living entities according to their past deeds. They are herein asking the favor of the Lord for the intelligence and power to carry out their task. Similarly, any conditioned soul may also engage in the service of the Lord under the guidance of an expert spiritual master. Like how Srila Prabhupada is now explaining who a demigod is, who are we, how are they in a better position than us, and as we as conditioned soul, how will we approach the Lord? He says now that how by us engaging in the service of the Lord under the guidance of an expert spiritual master, and thus gradually become freed from the entanglement of material existence. The spiritual master is the manifested representative of the Lord, and anyone who puts himself under the guidance of a spiritual master and acts accordingly is said to be acting in terms of buddhi yoga, as explained in the Bhagavad Gita 2:41. Vyavasayatmika buddhirekeha kurunandhana bahushaka hyanantascha buddhayo vyavasayinam. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Amazing purports ki jai. So you all can, as you all are reading and you have been hearing so many pastimes of the Lord for so long, a wonderful pastime that comes to most of our hearts is the Samudra Manthan Leela, right? Where the similar situation where the demigods approach when they are in trouble. So here we can actually see the all pervasiveness of the Lord very physically. Like sometimes you have to put effort, like it's very easy when you can use your external senses to see the presence of the Lord, right? Like we have to become more mature enough to feel the presence of the Lord. But anybody in general can see in this pastime of Samudra Manthan Leela how at every step the Lord actually physically manifests and shows his presence as he is helping the demigods actually. So I thought of discussing on this beautiful pastime in the 8th canto of Churning of Milk Ocean is described in detail in Srimad Bhagavatam, and there are various roles that are taken. Like there are so many Manus in day of Brahma, and the 6th Manu, the Chakshusha Manu, this pastime happened as it is described in the 8th canto, 5th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. And it so happened that most of you would know the story better than me. For my purification, I'm saying it and repeating it. Like when Durvasa Muni was walking along, and when he saw Indra as he was coming on Airavat, and he gracefully, Durvasa Muni gave his garlanded Indra, because he's the devata of the demigods, and he wanted to respect him, and he wanted to give him the garland. But Indra, in his position of being the head of the demigods, he just reluctantly, or what you could say, that not valuing the garland from Durvasa Muni, he just gave that to the elephant Airavat, and Airavat just trampled it. And it was not the fault of Airavat. So Durvasa Muni got really angry at the behavior of Indra, how because of his puffed up nature and his position, he behaved in such a way, not accepting as a worshipping the Muni in front of him. So Durvasa Muni cursed that Indra to lose all his powers and lose all his position. And following, he's the king. So when he loses his position and power, what happens to all the other demigods? They also lost all the power and they became weak. And that was the time when Bali Maharaj was ruling for all the asuras, and they started raging war against the demigods, and they were more powerful because the power of the demigods was going down. So because of this, the demigods were not able to perform their duties on a regular basis. And now they are in big trouble. So when they are in trouble, they went to Lord Brahma, their father, and they said, Lord Brahma, see our situation. We are not able to perform our duties that we are here because of the curse of Durvasa Muni. Please help us. So they went, and you could see that they're all with the folded hands asking for help. And Brahmaji saw the graveness of the situation, and he said, the situation is really grave. So I guess we all should go to take shelter of Lord Vishnu, who is the only source who could help us. So he goes along with all the demigods to the Kshirosagar, and he's also praying and meditating and reciting Purusha Suktas and waiting for the Lord to help. And we could see that the Lord in their heart tells that, yes, I am pleased by your prayers and I will surely help you. And in this past time, I was reading, please excuse me. As we could read in Srimad Bhagavatam, we could see that here the Lord teaches every step by step what they should do. Like, just imagine, like if we are in trouble or we are in need of help, or there is a project to be completed, we go to our seniors or our teachers and we ask for help, and they do give us some directions, the max, right? Like most of us in our lives, we have experienced that. They would give us some directions and they would say, do this, do that, and try doing, and that's it, right? But then we are on our own to come back and do it. But here, the Lord is so magnanimous and in his help that he comes along every step we can see. Like he even tells them, he makes a master plan, actually, like a beautiful plan, where he says that, please go and talk to the demons and make a peace truce with them, like a truce in the sense you talk to them about how you can come together and churn this milk ocean to get nectar. Go, and how you should talk. He actually goes in much details of what are the words that you should use. And when you're going to the demons, you can expect them to be very nice, sitting down and having a nice peace treaty, right? They're going to be mad and they're going to be angry, and they may react in different ways. So he also says that how he wants the demigods to control their anger and not react to the words, but think about the end goal of getting the nectar in the whole process, and to accept everything, every little thing. They would say that just accept it. Don't go for a fight with them. So he first gives the master plan. So now then the demigods do go talk to all the asuras and make them into this truce of churning the milk ocean. So after that, let's see. I just have these pictures, so it helps us to go into that pastime into more details. So we see that the Shirodakshaya Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is known as Ajita, unconquerable, advised demigods to make a peace proposal to the demons. So after the priest rules, the demons and the demigods could churn the ocean of milk. So first, the master plan is being told by the Lord to ask them to execute it. And then what he does, he gives the rope would be the biggest serpent. Like he first explains how this whole process will be done. And the churning rod would be the Mandara mountain, because it's a big milk ocean. What is the rod that they're going to use to churn, right? And poison would also be produced from the churning. There'll be so many things that will come out, even poison will come. But he says, but it would be taken by Lord Shiva. And so there would be, they don't have to fear this situation. So much assurance is given from the Lord. Like he's not just giving the advice and okay, now go execute it, right? And many other attractive things would be generated by churning. But the Lord wanted the demigods not to be captivated by such things. So he's saying, don't get allured. There will be so many things when you churn. It's not just the nectar, but a lot of amazing things will be coming out. But stay focused, right? Vyavasayatmika buddhi, stay focused. Nor should the demigods be angry if there were some disturbances. So after advising the demigods in this way, the Lord disappeared from the scene. My dear demigods, with patience and peace, everything can be done. But if one is agitated by anger, the goal is not achieved. Therefore, whatever the demons ask, just agree to their proposal. So how nice and well-wishing the Lord is. Like he's Suhridam Sarvabhutanam, and he says he really means it. So he is giving such good words of advice that be patient. With peace and patience, everything is possible. And please don't get agitated by anger. Just those words are very chosen by the Lord. And we could see in our Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, 62, 63, the verses like Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsa Sangasteshu Pajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kamat Krodho Vijayate, like how those steps of when you are too much attached to your things, these ladders help us develop, like don't get too attached to those things that are coming out, and then frustration will come, then the anger will develop, and all those things stages the Lord is making sure doesn't happen, because all that happens and the whole plan is gone. So the Lord is really helping at every step. And then the major problem happened. They all agreed on it, but they could not lift the mountain. They went to the lift Mandara mountain. The mountain was so heavy. The demons and the demigods thought that that's really powerful, but they got crushed as they lifted this mountain. Like some of them even lost their lives, and some of them lost their hands and legs and parts of the bodies. They were really injured really badly. And what did they do? Again, the demigods, they all prayed, all the devatas prayed, Lord, please help us. We are stuck, like padam padam yadvipadam, like we started, but now we are stuck. How do we even go? The churning rod itself is not reaching the ocean, milk ocean. How do we even start this process? So the Lord flew in his Garuda so beautifully, and very effortlessly, he just picked and placed the Mandara mountain on back of Garuda. Not just the mountain, with his loving glance, he revived all the demons and the demigods. And he also placed them back up and flew with all of them to the shore of Milk Ocean. And he said, Garuda, now your service is done. Thank you so much. You could leave now. Just imagine, like if we all are part of the Lord's plan, and when we are serving him, this is a great historic event of churning this milk ocean is going to happen. And the Lord is saying Garuda to leave. Wouldn't he want to witness this, right? Wouldn't we, if we were there, we would say, I also want to be here. Please don't tell me to go. Like if there is some big project and our spiritual master or our leaders say that, okay, now go take care of that service. Your service here is done. So Garuda, you could say that he immediately said, yes, sir. And he left. I was so amazed when I read that surrender of Garuda. That's how he is the carrier of Vishnu. So that is a trust that the servant has on the master, and the master knows the heart of the servant. They know each other, that the master knows that the servant is there to obey him, and the servant knows that the master, whatever he does, it's for the best. He's the best well-wisher. So he knows what's best for me. If he says to leave, I just leave. That is the trust they have on each other. And why did the Lord ask Garuda to leave? Only then Vasuki can come, right? So eternally or always the snakes are the food of the Garuda vultures. So he didn't want any problem to happen there between Garuda and Vasuki. So he wanted things to keep in place so Vasuki can come and the process can go on. So this was beautifully organized by the Lord. And now the mountain has reached. The demons and the demigods are all revived. And Vasuki is going to come next. And we could see that the Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita 10th chapter of 28th verse, Sarpana Masmi Vasuki, of snakes, I am Vasuki. So here's another expansion. He's such a giant, lengthy, long Vasuki has come in the form of rope, which could go around the whole Mandara mountain to give himself. He's actually like literally like losing his life when he's going to be churned to get that nectar, right? He agreed and he comes as the rope for that. And here we could see the Vasuki has wound around the mountain, and who on the tail side, initially what happened, the Lord and the demigods, the Lord himself as in the form of Ajita, he took on to the side of the demigods. He was physically there with them, helping in this process, the first person you could see. So they were actually holding on to the head portion of Vasuki. But the demons, they said, we are the strong people. We are not, why should we be catching the tail end? We don't want to be catching the tail end. You people go ahead. Like they were angry. They said they don't even want to go on the tail side. And what did Ajita do? The Lord, he immediately walked to the tail side. And when he walked, all the demigods also walked. See, we will get a lot of instructions, but also there is a challenge of how to follow it, right? At the time of to follow, somebody, there are examples to show us, it makes it more easier to follow. Like all our own modes will act on us and we'll say, oh, I don't want to do that. I am a demigod or I am so and so. Why should I bow down or why should I follow that instruction in a sense? So Ajita, the Lord personally was there to show them, the demigods, by his personal example. It became very easy for them. So that is our loving Lord. He's there in every step they were going through. Every time they were challenged with the difficulty, the Lord personally manifested. So we could see the Lord himself there churning this milk ocean. And some more problems, right? Nothing is less in this whole process. And the whole mountain just sank in. When it sank in, the rod is sank in. So who came up? It is our Kurmadev. The Lord manifested in this beautiful, beautiful Kurmadev. We could see with all the ornaments. Dharani dharana kinata garishte Keshavadrita kurma sharira Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Kurmadev Bhagwan ki jai. So the Lord manifested as Kurmadev to hold on to this big sinking Mandara mountain from not getting sunk and to stay up. He balanced that. He was 800,000 miles large. It's beyond our imagination, actually. He's like a large island in himself. So beautiful, like tortoises. Like there are many animals that we talk about being beautiful, right? Like a calf or a peacock, but we never say a tortoise for its beauty. But when the Lord manifests in that form, that's the most beautiful form, this beautiful tortoise. And Srimad Bhagavatam explains how when this Mandara mountain was churning, it was as if he was having an itch in the back, it says, and how it was giving him such a relief. And more detailed in the 10th canto, Shukadeva Goswami explains that I want to take shelter of this Lord when he's kind of like, when you go to sleep, you feel an itch in the back, and when somebody's scratching it, you feel so nice and gentle that you just rest and sleep well. So the Lord was feeling so happy with that sensation that he was breathing in and out very gently, it seems. And that was creating ripples in the ocean, milk ocean, very, very soothing ripples. And it was soothing all the living entities in the ocean, because when the mountain was being churned, the whole ocean is getting agitated. So all the living entities in the ocean are fearful, like what's happening here now. So their fear also went away when they were when they meditated on the breathing of our Lord of Kurmadev in the form of tortoise form, and he was in there. He was giving happiness to all those creatures who are in that milk ocean. So they didn't feel the agitation, but they were also peaceful internally along with the Lord in the ocean. So that's how Kurmadev also came to support this pastime. So moving further, any more problems? Yes, no doubt, right? More problems coming. Thereafter, Lord Vishnu, what happened? All the demons and demigods, they became tired. They could not do that activity. It was getting tiring, really. So thereafter, the Lord Vishnu entered the demons as the quality of passion, the demigods as the quality of goodness, and Vasuki as the quality of ignorance, to encourage them and increase their various types of strengths and energies. So the Lord, in so many ways, he's assisting personally in this pastime. We could see the all-pervading aspect of the Lord. And then what happened? Manifesting himself with thousands of hands, the Lord then appeared on the summit of the Mandara mountain, like another great mountain, and held Mandara mountain with one hand, because it was off balance when they started churning. Like every little thing that you can expect, more than that was happening. And it was going off balance, and the Lord came up on top of to make the balance, from bottom, from up, within everybody there, and in the front with Ajita. In all forms, he's there in this pastime that they could physically witness. So because the demigods were so affected by the blazing breath of Vasuki, their bodily luster was diminished, and their garments, garlands, weapons, and faces were blackened by the smoke. However, by the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, clouds appeared on the sea, pouring torrents of rain, and breezes blew, carrying particles of water from the sea waves to give the demigods relief. How sweet the Lord is. Every little thing he's taking care of. But when the nectar did not come from the milk ocean, despite so much endeavor by the best of the demigods and demons, the Supreme Personality of God at Ajita personally began to churn. So it was not the efforts of the demons and the demigods that the nectar came, but the Lord as Ajita himself started churning to get the nectar out. And when the nectar came, Dhanvantri, the plenary portion of the Lord Vishnu, came with the pot of nectar. When Lord Dhanvantri Bhagwan came, but the asuras snatched the pot from him. All transcendental pastimes, right? So then what happened? We have our Mohini Murti. The most beautiful Lord appeared in the form of Mohini Murti and got the pot of nectar from the demons and started distributing it to the devatas. At this point, most of us, or some of us, could have thought, like, why is Lord being very partial? Like he says he's not partial, but looks like he is partial. He's only distributing the nectar to the demigods and not to the demons. What is happening here? So for this, we have in Srimad Bhagavatam 8:9-28, Shukadeva Goswami tells us what happened in this pastime. Evam sura ghana samadesha khala hitvartha karma matayo bifale vikalpa tatramritam sura ghana falamanjasapur yatpada pankajara shrayananna dhaitya. The place, the time, the cause, the purpose, the activity, and the ambition were all the same for both the demigods and the demons. But the demigods achieved one result and the demons another. Why? Because the demigods are always under the shelter of the dust of the Lord's lotus feet. They could very easily drink the nectar and get its results. The demons, however, not having sought shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord, were unable to achieve the result they desired. It's about who wanted to take shelter. So, ye yathamam prapadyante tam tathaiva bhajamyaham, how the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, how you approach, so shall you get rewarded. So here we see the place, the time, the cause, the purpose, the activity, everything, even the ambition were the same for both. But how did each other get a different result? Because of who took shelter of the Supreme Lord, the whole result got changed. So how can we apply this to our lives? The next verse immediately says, in human society, there are various activities performed for the protection of one's wealth and life by one's words, one's mind, and one's actions, but they are all performed for one's personal or extended sense gratification with reference to the body. All these activities are baffled because of being separated from devotional service. But when the same activities are performed for the satisfaction of the Lord, the beneficial results are distributed to everyone, just as water poured on the root of a tree is distributed throughout the entire tree. How nice. That's how Srimad Bhagavatam is. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu, like all our problems are vanquished when every day we hear Srimad Bhagavatam. Every verse is nectarian, in a sense, giving us relief, giving us answers for all our questions for our daily living and how to perform this devotional service. And I really love this verse from Shri Ishopanishad, where it says that tad ejati tannaijayati tadhure tadvantike. That word tadhure tadvantike, it always stays very close to my heart. The Supreme Lord walks and does not walk. He's far away. Like if we see, he's the Lord just in the temple. No, is he just there in the Golok Dham? Is he there somewhere else that is so far that I cannot reach? No, but he's very near as well within our hearts. He's within everything, and yet he's outside of everything. That vyapti, that pervadingness of the Lord is just so beautiful. When we start feeling him with us, we can see these magics happening. And when we start taking shelter of him and his representatives, we can actually perceive his presence in our lives. And we could see that Brahmaji also saying these very special prayers of those devotees who have taken shelter. Tate nukampam susumikshamano bhunjana yevatmakritam vipakam hritvagvapurbhir vidadhan namaste jiveta yo muktipate sadhaya bhag. My dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your costless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds and offering you respectful obeisances within his heart, words, and body, is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim. Like the need of having patience to wait for the mercy of the Lord is beautifully explained here. And since we went into quite a little bit to know more about the pastime of Samudra Manthan, this is the other pastimes in Vrindavan Leela. We could see how Brahma Vimohan Leela, where Brahmaji himself got bewildered, and how the Lord manifested and showed him every gopa and the cow and the calf and everything was him for that one whole year when Brahmaji had taken all of them away and put them in the caves. So this is another beautiful pastime of relishing the all-pervading nature of the Supreme Lord. And this is another beautiful pastime that I could relish in my heart as I was preparing for this class. Satyam vidhatum nijabhithya bhashitam vyaptim cha bhuteshu akileshu chatmana adhrishyatham adbhutarupamutpavam stambhe sabhayam namridham namanusham. Adrishyatam, Adbhuta Rupa Udbham. Like, how did this Adrishya Rupam come out? Prahlad, like, where is your Lord? Where is your Lord when the demon's father, Hiranyakashipu, is challenging his little kid? And in one of the classes, one of the speakers was very humorously saying that when Narad Muni went up to see the Lord, and the Lord was putting on his Narshing Dev makeup, and he was in anxiety, and Narad Muni was asking what happened, that Lord, you're in anxiety as you're getting ready for going down to appear as Narshing Devi. And the Lord said, I don't know this kid, which direction he's going to point to. I have to go into everywhere in a jovial form, not into a philosophical discussion. But that's how Prahlad Maharaj was able to see the Lord everywhere. So is he in this pillar? And he was confident in saying, yes, he is in this pillar. to say that. So the Lord, most of the times we could ask that this was not the first time that Prahlad was in trouble. He was thrown into the pit of snakes. He was thrown from that mountain. He was given poison. He was trampled under the elephant. So many things happened. The Lord just didn't manifest at that time to say, okay, stop it. Because Prahlad Maharaj didn't call him in that way to save him like that. He was always praying. It was Yugal Kishore Prabhu says that when they pushed Prahlad from the top of the mountain, like if imagining myself going into a danger zone. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, save me. So the intensity of Prahlad did not get intensified as he was falling from the cliff. He was Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, and he was in that trance even when he was taken to the cliff and also when he was thrown down from the cliff. So that was the faith that this little kid, Prahlad Maharaj, had. And he was so sure about the vyapti of the pervading nature of the Supreme Lord, and he was able to perceive it. So he was feeling the protection all the time. And to make his words Satyam Vidhatum Nija Bhritya Bhashitam, for that purpose, the Lord, the beautiful Narsinghdev Lord, just appeared from the pillar. Narsinghdev Bhagwan ki jai. So such sweet is our Lord, and such sweet are his devotees, who always feel his presence, all pervading nature everywhere. I want to conclude this discussion where most of you know Her Grace Nayan Sundari Mataji, who is no more physically amongst our congregation. But when it comes to that all-pervasive nature of the Lord, I could not pass on without mentioning her, because in her final days with us, she is a beautiful singer. She is a very, very nice Kirtan leader, and she delivers very, very beautiful Bhagavatam classes too. And she was very, very eager for holy name. Her breath was hankering for hearing holy name. And that we could see at her passing away. Like when she came out of that consciousness, when from that, she was sedated, heavily sedated with the oxygen, all that medical terms going around. And when she came out of that sedation, it's very hard when you are heavily sedated. When you come out, you are in a delirium state. You can't even know who is around, what is happening, where are you. You can't even feel yourself in the first place. That's how bad it is in medical terms. But she immediately raised her hands when she saw the devotee. She could not speak because she's having a trachea. But she was so grateful, and she was rolling from side to side and thanking all the devotees. And she's breathless. She's in pain. And this is what she writes: human life is an opportunity to achieve and witness that highest state of your consciousness where pain does not exist at all. So she actually exemplified this. And her love for Kirtan, there were many magical moments that happened in her passing away. And I just wanted to share this part where all of us, including her spiritual master, everybody was singing the Maha Mantra for her. And she was with us as she was trying to sing the Maha Mantra too. And on her day of cremation too, like, she's a very beautiful singer. So some Mataji actually flew, or they drew all the way from, I guess, New Jersey. They came, and I was actually thinking, like, she loves Kirtan a lot. She's not into any other form, but just holy name, holy name, holy name. Her love for holy name is really, really very evident. And all those Kirtaniyas, from where they came, we don't know, for her funeral that day. And everyone was like, we didn't go inviting anybody personally. It was all happening like sudden, next. And they came driving all the way from New Jersey, and such lovingly those Matajis sang beautiful, beautiful kirtans and bhajans for her cremation day. And it was heart-melting for everyone. Like, we could witness how her love for holy name is taking her back to Godhead. So we could witness the Lord in the form of holy name, because her love for holy name was so evident. And she was singing, like, she's a beautiful singer, and as a devotee. And also we had another devotee, Anuradha Priya Mataji, just day before yesterday. we had her services at the temple, and just on the 1st of this year, she passed away on Vaikuntha Ekadashi. And she is another wonderful devotee where she loved chanting. She wanted to chant more, and she never wanted anybody to know about her illness. That was her glories. Like, she never wanted to know what suffering she was going through. And we all, when we gathered, usually we sing Hare Krishna Mahamantra, right? I don't know what made us do this. We were just chanting Hare Krishna for her loudly in her ears. This is never, like, nobody told us that this is what you should do. Like, when Nayan Sundari Mataji was passing away, Yugal Kishore Prabhu was personally present, and he was leading us in the kirtan. And we were all singing the kirtan. But this time, I don't know who planned. Nobody planned, because it's just few minutes, like right away we were having a year-end eve whatever program in the temple. We completed it. We got the news right from the temple. We all left right to the hospital. That those were the few moments of her life on there. So we all were in the hospital, and we started actually with the singing of kirtan. And as they took her off the life support, and she was just going to pass off, we have no clue how all of us Matajis and whoever Prabhus were there, we turned on Srila Prabhupada's chanting high, and it was just Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This was chanting so intensely. And I didn't even know that she loved chanting. Like, I didn't have much interaction with Anuradha Priya Mataji, but during her, when we were having the Smriti Sabha this 2 days back, and they were narrating this, I was just having goosebumps. Like, how did we do this? Like, only the Lord can orchestrate all these things. So I'm just feeling so grateful for all these devotees who are showing by their personal example of how they took shelter in whichever process of devotional service they loved, and they engaged themselves, and the Lord personally reciprocated with these devotees. So I want to thank you all for this opportunity. And I know that many of you would know many pastimes like that from Ramayana, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam, or from our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada. So please, if you would like, the platform is open for you all to share. I'll be happy to hear from you all. Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol, Mataji. Amazing class you taken, Mataji. It's really very nice. Thank you so much, Aratna Mataji. You invite Her Grace Himangni Mataji, and her class is really very nice, Mataji. So we request you timely, please come to Partsarthi Foundation. So we can really need your association so to develop our Krishna consciousness, Mataji.
Mataji, you all are amazing here. I'm here to take
And
association
actually,
from you all.
yeah, for 1 month before only I heard the Mataji's she is no more, because when we start our Partsarthi Foundation as a Guru school, that time her daughter Rasika is coming to read and learn the Srimad Bhagavatam and Sanskrit to His Grace Hari Lila Prabhuji. And I really like her Rasika, the way of her Krishna consciousness, how Mataji developed her. So I really like her Rasika. I have a very much instruction via WhatsApp chat to Rasika, but I didn't know this news. And actually, Mataji is also from Jaipur, and we are also from Jaipur. So my brother told me 1 month before about Mataji. She is no more, and she gave me the link where His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj sent the last days of the Mataji. And I really tears in my eyes, because I personally touch with Rasika. So how's Rasika Mataji? She is good.
She's an amazing kid, no
Yes,
doubt.
Mataji.
She
Yeah,
and Mukunda are very special, and we are trying to support them in whatever ways we could. And
yes.
it is a challenge, Mataji. It's not easy, but they are just amazing kids. That's what I can say.
Yeah, because I have her number, but I have no strength to talk to her. So whenever I saw her by
So, yeah, so as in our congregation, what we have said is, let's behave in a normal way, like not make her cry. Like, see, she's a
right.
kid. So
Yes.
we never ask her how you are feeling. We never ask
Yes.
such questions. We
Yes,
just, like,
that's
on a
why.
daily.
Yeah, that's why only whenever I open my WhatsApp, means several times I open and ask her how are you Rasika, Hare Krishna, that's it only. But I have no any words to say like that. So by my heart I just wish her
Please pray her,
Krishna
Mataji.
please,
Yeah,
yeah.
please pray for them. Yes.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji, for everything. Hare Krishna. I request to Aratna Mataji, please take out the question answer session and your realization also. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Mataji, for accepting our invitation and spending your quality time with us and such beautiful stories. It was very amazing class. I would like to ask if anybody has any questions, you can please raise your hand and then you can request Mataji to answer anybody's question. Or if anybody has to share anything, they can do as well.
True.
I guess your class was self-explanatory, so
Nothing much of questions in that. It's more stories to share and to feel the process. Yes, Mataji.
It's a wonderful class, and how you explain about the how this Krishna has how the Kurma avatar, the Kashvas has back is itching, and how they put that on the back. It's like wonderful. You explain such a way, so it's so amazing, and you sing the words so nicely, Mataji. Yeah. So Mataji, my question is like, is there any measurement for the that Mandara mountain? How tall he is? What the length? For the
It should
land.
be there, but I don't know. I only knew about the 8,000 miles of the tortoise. So if he's 8,000, I don't know how tall he was to do the whole measurement. If I find in the Bhagavatam, I will surely pass on to Anuradha Mataji to give it to you, Mataji.
Okay, thank you so much, Mataji. And I mean, so like for this churning of ocean, like Krishna has like so many incarnation for that, like then last Dhanvantari avatar and
Mohini
Muni
Murti.
and oh my goodness, Kurma avatar and
Every step. He even told them what to talk, what to do, everything.
yeah. So very wonderfully you explain Mataji so nicely, and what you sing the verse is which canto and which chapter, Mataji?
8th canto, 5th chapter, this Mandara Mountain. Past
8-5 and
8-5. The whole chapter actually has it.
Turning of Ocean.
Yes, Churning of Milk Ocean.
8.5, yeah.
8.5.
Okay, thank you, Hare Krishna Mataji. Wonderful.
Thank you.
would like to share anything?
Mataji, actually every morning we have a Hindi Srimad Bhagavatam class. So when you share right now only, it's a 8th canto for Churning Ocean chapter, Mataji. So actually one of the Mataji asked a question to the today's morning Prabhuji, and he doesn't know the answer. So if you allow, can I ask behalf of her question, Mataji?
I'll try, Mataji, but I am also like, I'm just repeating. So yeah, do. Yeah.
So Mataji, that I already told you that is a Hindi Bhagavatam. So if you allow, so should I ask in a Hindi?
Sure,
So
Mataji, I'll try. Actually, like I can understand Hindi, but I cannot speak
That
Krishna
is
Katha
fine.
in Hindi.
Yeah, that is fine because I translate her via Hindi, Mataji. So Mataji, उनका क्वेश्चन ये था कि जब शिव जी, ब्रह्मा जी, सारे देवता कृष्ण मतलब कि विष्णु जी के पास गए थे कि ये चर्निंग ओशियन के उसमें, तो उसमें ये लिखा हुआ है कि मदर लक्ष्मी भी गई थी। तो आफ्टर द चर्निंग ओशियन मदर लक्ष्मी वो प्रकट हुई थी और वो समुद्र की बेटी कहलाई थी। तो उससे पहले लक्ष्मी जी कैसे चली गई थी?
Okay, so this is very verse specific. If there is a verse, Mataji, I can go into it and read it.
Yes, Mataji. Give me a second.
Okay.
I can, yeah. Give me a second, Mataji.
Sure.
If anybody have any questions, so please go ahead. I need 1 minute, Mataji.
Sure, sure, sure.
Wait. She gave it to me today morning only. Yes. So it's a 8th canto, 6th chapter, verse number 3 till 7, Mataji.
377. I'm going along with you.
8th canto, 6th chapter, verse number 3 to
I
7.
got it. So Lord Brahma, along with Lord Shiva, saw the crystal clear personal beauty of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose blackish body resembles Samarkata gem, whose eyes are reddish like the depths of a lotus, who is dressed with garments that are yellow like molten gold, and whose entire body is attractively decorated. They saw his beautiful smiling lotus-like face crowned, that I don't see Lakshmi anywhere yet, Mataji. There's no mention of Lakshmi here. It's only Brahma and Shiva are there. So I'm not sure from where she's quoting about Mother Lakshmi here. इधर लिखा नहीं है माताजी कहीं भी लक्ष्मी जी का नाम.
या नहीं माताजी, इसमें 6th वर्स में लिखा हुआ है ना, कौस्तुभा भारणम लक्ष्मी विभ्रति वनमालिनीम सुदर्शनादभि सर्वास्त्र मूर्तिभि. 6th वर्स माताजी.
Okay. Yeah, she's going by the Sanskrit part. Okay.
हाँ.
Just give me 1 second, Mataji. I am right there. Kaustuba Abharanam. That means it is not that the Lakshmi was there. So that place, like the goddess of fortune, where she resides in the heart, that place which is decorated by Kaustuba gem, that is what is being explained, not that Lakshmi ji went there.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
He's explaining how beautiful the Lord is and the various jewels that he's wearing. So when he's talking about the Kaustuba jewel, he's saying that place where Lakshmi would reside, that place where the Kaustuba gem is there. Abharanam, like he's wearing that Kaustuba Abharanam Lakshmi, like that is the place where the Kaustuba gem is there, where Mother Lakshmi would reside. That's the place she would be residing.
So Mataji, here is a line she underlined. Here is a verse, it's a Lakshmi, and as for translation, it said, he carries with him the goddess of fortune.
She's always there. Like she's an eternal concept of the Lord. It's not that she came from the ocean of, as far as my understanding goes, like how we say, right? Like Radharani eternally exists. She is the eternal concept of the Lord. Not that she had to take birth in Rishabhanu's house to become the concept of Lord Krishna. So Mother Lakshmi is eternal concept of the Lord. But in this pastime, she comes through the Samudra Manthan Leela. She comes and physically manifests to get married to the Lord. So it doesn't mean that she did not exist before.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah.
Yes, Mataji. So can I ask one more question on behalf of her, Mataji?
Sure, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, more than. So Mataji, on the same chapter, the shloka is 16 and 17. Here is Jai Vijay. So the Jai Vijay, so this is a chapter for Mataji, which shloka she said to me?
I will go in the English if you tell me the shloka.
Yes. Just a minute, Mataji.
Sure.
Shloka number 16. Nand Surando Artha Jayo Vijay.
8:16. In the 8th canto 16. Is that the one you're talking?
No, 21st chapter, Mataji. Canto 8, 21st chapter, 16 and 17 shloka.
Well, let me go. 21st. Bali Maharaj has come already. Okay. 21st. 16 and 17. Yes, I'm here. Yes.
So Mataji, in this verse, Mataji, it said, Nand Sunand Jai Vijay Prabal Bal Kumudaksh Vishwasen. ये सभी भगवान विष्णु के संगी थे, वे 10,000 हाथियों के तुल्य बलवान थे. So Mataji, after that means her question is this, after the death of Hinyaksha and Hinyakashipu, so how it's become a जय विजय, because उनको तो 3 जन्म मिले थे ना, मतलब जना मतलब कि सतयुग, त्रेता युग एंड द्वापर युग, कि वो इस तरह से आएंगे, तो how they become in middle for a जय विजय.
Yeah. So, yes, Mataji, it is so transcendental. These pastimes are so, because we are so conditioned to say that I am here means I can only be on Zoom like this, but not physically there in your house, right? So, but the Lord and his Parshadas can exist. So that's how when Lord Krishna got married, right? In 16,108 houses, not just Krishna was there, the mother-in-law, father-in-law, Vasudev, they also had expanded. They were also there. Okay. So we don't discuss so much about it, but they see the anima, lagima, whatever shaktis, all that we possess, right? They're all very minimal to what a spiritual Nitya Siddhas can have. They don't use it, but when there is a need, they will use it. So they're not confined to that one form. Like this is where they should be. But if there is a need of service in another place, they will manifest in that way, that place, if the Lord calls them in that place and that situation. So it's not just that one physical appearance as Jai and Vijay that we see. So as far as my understanding goes, Mataji.
Hari Bol, thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
That's how even in the spiritual world, be it Srimati Radharani, all the gopis and gopas and Mother Yashoda, Ananda Baba, they're just not there in that one planet or one Golokadham, just one, not like that. They have the power to expand as similar to Krishna, and this is explained in Sanatan Goswami's Brihad Bhagavatamrita. If you read, there is explanation of how these personalities expand whenever there is a need. Whenever Krishna and his pastimes there is a need, along with Krishna, they also expand. So that's how Krishna is simultaneously there and not there. So he's there also, he's in this Vrindavan also, Bhauma Vrindavan also. Like if you say Krishna never took one step out of Vrindavan, now how did he go and what fight in Dwarka and what happened? Like it is so contradictory, right? But it is not. In a sense, Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. Yes, Radharani never left Vrindavan, and she's there simultaneously one and simultaneously not there. That is our Achintya Bheda Tattva.
So
complicated
true.
to understand, but it is very sweet.
Yes. Because today I read Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 3, first book, last chapter, and last few second or third last shloka. So there in the purport, Srila Prabhupada also said there are so many Lakshmis who is वो सेवा कर रही हैं.
Yes.
So already they happen. So many Lakshmis are there.
Lakshmi Sahasrashata Sambrama Sevyamanam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Sata Sambrama. Like thousands of Lakshmis are serving him. Yes.
So true. Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Anybody have any question? Please just raise your hand or feel free to unmute yourself and ask to Mataji. Okay, so Mataji, there is no more hand raised. So if you allow, should we wind up our call here? But Mataji, in the last, we have we have to request in front of you, please timely come to Partsarthi Foundation and bless us. And we really need your Vani association, Mataji. Amazing session and amazing presentation you did. Really like it, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for this opportunity.
Prabhupada की जय, हर ग्रेसी मांगनी गोपी माता जी की जय, सतगुरु की जय.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much.